what else do we want to accomplish with this?
Well, I think the better question is, what else do you want to accomplish?
Well, no, because I wanted to
bust out his pen.
Well,
he's gonna write a set list.
You got notes?
well, there's a couple things.
And we're back with the second stage of display, and we're once again joined by the same folks for Dummies. Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
Jisk One.
Yo, what's up?
And Robert Detoff.
Hello.
And speaking of Detoff, so I know that my first display, I remember when I bought it, it was a Target bookshelf that was like this light colored, like blonde wood that was a piece of
It was like 1,000 pounds of particle board.
Yes. And I filled it to the brim with stuff, and it was garbage. But that was my first one. And then I remember that eventually I ended up getting a bunch of Detoffs for my statues, and that became a combination of Detoffs and then this one trash bookshelf that I don't think survived one move from the upstairs to the basement.
The back that was tacked in with those little tiny nails popped off.
Yeah, to be fair, that's how Billies are done too, but yes. Yes, 100% that was involved. But I think that actually the molding down at the bottom where it like bears the brunt of the weight, like just sort of disintegrated.
When we had our first child, we got that cross-hatched IKEA thing that you put the cubbies in. What's it called? The Spookflick or something?
Oh, with all the squares, it's like each square, but it's...
Scorn a TikToker. Something, yeah, that. I was collecting Transformers Prime, so I stole a few of those. I put my Transformers Prime Transformers Prime figures in there, and then as that got to be cluttered and crowded, then I got my little Billy, and I had a baby Billy, and then that got covered, and then I had issues. It was too much. That's the thing, like, because Transformers, you do display them, I believe, like Bobby was saying, it's like the armies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. If I had the space, I would display them based on how I remember them, because the only time I recall there being armies is like from the movie in the battle,
Right.
you know? Otherwise, it's episodes.
So like Prime would be dead in your display?
That would be a great display. And I'm sure there are lots of people out there that do that, have a great Prime and have the figures around them, you know. But then that graduated. I had this office that was just really a junk room. It was supposed to be my wife's music room, and she's a hoarder. She really is a hoarder. And this room was just full of boxes and full of papers and old notes and all that. And I was like, honey, this is going in storage. You won't even know the difference. And she didn't know the difference. She still got upset at me for clearing it out, which is a stereotypical hoarder reaction. But it is, you disrupt the hoard and they go crazy. They start biting their hand.
I want to know what medication Robert takes for Tourette's.
There was this sort of odd evolution to it, I feel like, when you realize what you had on the shelf was nicer than the shelf itself, and you start to kind of try to manipulate it and catch up the furniture to what you're buying. And that
I feel like not everybody does it, though. I think that's a rare
100%. 100%. I agree.
It's triggered, I think, by initially just having the capacity to display your figures. People, I feel, that don't get it. It's not just the space; it's the spatial aspect.
Yes.
Of the display. The people that don't get it still get the real cheap, like utility stuff from like the hardware store.
Right, like the garage shelf.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
It's horrible, and you can tell they don't like it, and they don't understand why. No, but then I just took the office, and then I filled it with Billies. I bought like 8 Billies, or six Billies. Let me not exaggerate. Hyperbole, right? Fake news. And then it was all fine and dandy and fine. And I would just, Billies, you have the extra shelves. If you need them, you use them and move things around. But I'm at a place right now where it's affecting my joy. It's taking away from my joy because, like, Quietus is still in the box. Because if I'm going to display him with Galvatron, I have a problem. Like, I'm full. And I either need to sell toys, put them in storage, which seems like I bought them for no reason.
Storage is just silly.
So I started out basically with floating shelves. So those lacks from IKEA, they're like 3 feet long and they just float. Then I switched to Detoffs and went all in, like in
Right.
And you just had your DTOS just lined on the wall?
stacked right next to each other. Like the room that I'm in right now is pretty small. And I just want to make this clear. Like I know I was making, you're not making fun, but like making fun of people.
Speaking of clear,
Displays. My display, it looks terrible. Like I am one of the, like when I say it, 90% of people's displays are garbage, myself included. It looks bad.
I don't think yours looks bad, but I think that you hit the nail on the head. Like after you got all those DTOFs, you called me and you were like, dude, I set everything up and it's soulless.
Yeah, no, that was bummed.
That was
That's awful.
that was
Awful feeling.
that was the most accurate, and it's actually been something that has haunted me a little bit. Like I've kept it in my mind as as to displaying my stuff. Is like you have to be careful with that much glass.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we've gone through everybody. But let's talk about what the future is. You're maxed out on space, it seems like.
Correct.
So now it's just about maximizing the space with whatever, you're going to have to buy new Excuse me, sorry.
I feel like I have.
Oh, you filled it.
I feel like I have one more adventure in me. I've gotten the ring. I took it to Mordor. Won the Game of Thrones and took Westeros. And I feel like I have one more adventure left in me. And that adventure is quarter scale. And I think
Oh my God, that's right, Robert.
I'm contemplating buying Evil Lyn right now from Sideshow because I got a deal going on with it.
I feel like once you do this, you're going to look at everything else that you have and be like, it doesn't hold up in comparison.
It's funny you say that because my 3 3/4 collection it's like it's my
It's in your toilet. It's literally in your toilet.
No, not the DC stuff. The Star Wars stuff. It's literally like my longest running, most meaningful collection to me. But the more I get, the more that I look at it like, do I want these?
So you're just doing it out of habit now.
I'm doing it out of habit, and I'm doing it out of, like, it is my childhood. Like, when I think of, like, I had Transformers when I was a kid, but when I think of playing with toys as a kid, I think of playing Star Wars 3 3/4. It is an extremely meaningful collection to me, but, like, the more nice stuff I get, the more I'm like, what are you doing with this? And it's a hard collection to display. It's an extremely difficult collection to display.
It doesn't look good.
No.
Well, it's because everything's getting elevated, so what you're displaying is getting elevated. How you're displaying is elevated.
But look, the quarter scale adventure for me is like, this is it. Like, this is the final race. It's the ultimate representation of the things that I love. So
For now.
Sure. I mean, that's always the case.
It is a slippery slope.
But it wouldn't be like a completionist approach to it. It would be I love Masters of the Universe. My favorite character is Evil Lyn. Here she is. I love Star Wars. My favorite character is Han Solo. Here he is.
Yeah, but you didn't say, I want to get Evil Lyn because it's my favorite character. You said I want to get Evil Lyn because it's on sale.
Well, because I still need, I need someone to work with me, I feel like, in order to get me, you know what I mean? Like, I need somebody to massage me. Like it's like losing my quarter scale virginity. Like, I need somebody to talk me into it.
Wow.
But
I am impressed that no one is talking you into it.
Joe does, but
I don't think you're, honestly, I'm going to tell you, I don't think you're ready for it. That's why.
see,
Because I think
He did the big eyes.
see when you say
when you threaten him
when you say
that,
when you
that
say,
might be the push he needed.
when you say stuff like that, it's like, oh, I'll prove you I'm ready right
But
now.
I'll tell you why, though, because I think quality is definitely a key thing. But I think when you get into the quarter scale, you have to be willing to take a loss in quantity.
Yes.
And I don't know that you're willing to do that.
So here's my plan.
He hit you with a clear throat.
Did you hear my big breath in?
How I envision it, I have these 2 cabinets that my wife's father built.
Those are lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't know if they belong in that room, though.
Really?
Yeah, they don't look right there. They're really lovely. I feel like
What do you mean they don't look right there?
they should be somewhere with windows and sunlight. Like, if you ask me, like, they're not served well there. I was admiring them, and then he told me that it was like your dad made them or something. I was like, what? But it's like they're like in the
It's the light
basement.
wood. So I want to move those out, and in its place, I want to use, now you collectors, get your search engines ready. Joe has talked me into this.
Details.
I think I want to use these things called Moducase. They are these different size boxes, basically, with magnetically sealed glass. They're
Like
a number of different sizes, and you can kind of stack them and build them. Like, I've seen people do, they build 2 columns and they build one across and then another one down, whatever. Like there's all sorts of things you can do. You can also contact them and have something custom made to fit like a particular statue or whatever. They'll do it, and you can get it with mirrored backs, non-mirrored backs. Every one I think comes with a free light.
But Laura, it comes with a free light. We have to buy it.
But like it just, to me, this seems like the last mission. This seems like the grand finale to all of it. For me, is how it feels. And like I said, I'm talking one character per franchise.
I mean, I have seen them. They do look good, and I do agree that is like the end. That is what you buy when you finished your collection. You're like, okay, cool. I don't need to expand it. I'm gonna have it custom made for what I need it for, and that sounds like the way to go.
The end of a collection is a lie.
It's a lie. It's
a lie
it's an addict.
The collecting is an addiction.
It is,
in my opinion, and it is like a snowball effect.
It is, but there is an end cap.
He's been telling me this for 15 years.
Well, I'll tell you this: that
I'm almost done with my Transformers, and then he starts buying thousands of dollars in Hot Toys. Now he's getting where he wants in Hot Toys, and he needs to start buying statues that cost $1,000 a piece.
Not all of them.
Like
Evelyn's $400.
Bobby is not happy with where this conversation is going.
No. So what's next?
I don't know if there is a next.
Yeah, because this next we have to get a second mortgage to do.
No, it's because
it's a new house. That's
when you go beyond quarter scale, you're talking about 1/1 scale.
You know all he talked about this last week at Hilton Head? Boba Fett is $500 off for the live.
But I was kidding.
But you're not.
I am. So I don't want it. I don't want a 1/1 quarter.
I'm not buying you one, so don't worry about it.
Robert, you should buy one.
But my thing is, there is something beyond these quarter scale statues. So when they're done,
quarter scale.
Shut up. When they're done,
is this stale? No, just a quarter scale.
Promise you. Well, you know what? We could put one life-size statue.
So if there was
right here, it would fit right here. Just one, Laura.
There is one I want. What is the one? You know the one that I would want?
Boba Fett.
No.
Vader?
I don't want Boba Fett. I don't want Vader. No.
He wants a 1/1 scale Han Solo in the carbonite.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
You're right.
Oh my God!
And he has said that
on
before.
the fridge door.
Like that wouldn't work logistically, Robert.
You killed him. You cut him in half just to get ice.
Just to get ice.
So when we got together, it was 3 3/4.
It was Beanie Babies.
Okay, and it was, and like he was chasing them all around, right? And I don't have this one. I don't have that one. And then I would guess statues, really like DC statue type things that he was. And then probably third-party Transformers.
No, it was Play Arts, and then
Play Arts. Yes, Play Arts Kai. I always liked those actually.
Yeah, they look great.
And then the third party. Right?
Mm-hmm. And then the Black Series.
And then the Black Series.
And Marvel Legends.
Yeah, no, in all fairness, the Black
Series. And like,
Series
it's always like, I'm thinking about starting one more collection. This is going to be the last one, though, and it'll be complete. Chris has these Hot Toys. So this conversation came up probably 30 times because he knows I can't say no to him. So what did he do? Ask him how many Hot Toys he has.
5.
I don't know.
No, not 5, Robert.
I think it's like 20
I think it's close to
1,000.
30. It may be over 30 because then it was like, well, I have the Star Wars. Maybe I should get a few DC. And then maybe I should have some Marvel.
We'll probably
well,
need
just
some
a
Marvel.
few Marvel. Just a few, Laura. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
well, here's the
it
thing.
doesn't end.
I think that what we all have kind of not said flat out is the smaller the figure, the harder it is to display.
I would love if somebody would make me little mini detals for my legends. Then I would display them in detals. Skunk spraying in someone's face. Somebody's face covered in tomato sauce.
I want an evolving Transformer.
I want a picture of an Omega Supreme in a detail so everyone can see it.
Yes.
And a constructor in a detail.
I want a detail in a detail.